Right there at the, by Security Bank, drive up.
Okay, it's
You should be the
9
belly.
o'clock. Call the meeting to order. You have the agenda before you. Are there any changes to the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Betty, if you would read the minutes of the June 12th meeting, please.
June 12th, 2023. Chairman Clues called the regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9 a.m. Members present were Clues, Rasmussen, and Helgevold. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. Minutes of the previous regular meeting of June 5, 2023 were read and approved. Approved claims for payment. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to approve the reappointment of John Wright to the Wright County Conservation Board for a 5-year term. Motion carries. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to approve resolution 2023-25 to appropriate money for fiscal year 23-24 by roll call votes. Ayes, Clues, Rasmussen, and Helgevold, nays, none. Resolution 2023-25 duly passes and reads as follows. And there you can see the budget by department for next year. Motion by Clues, seconded by Rasmussen to receive the monthly revenue report from the Wright County Sheriff. Motion carries. Motion by Helgevold, seconded by Rasmussen to approve the 6 firework permits for 4G's pyrotechnics. Motion carries. Adam Clements, Wright County Engineer, gave an update on the secondary roads. There were 8 work orders completed last week. Crews have completed hauling and leveling year 3 rock miles. The C-70 surface lift is now complete, and the bridge approaches on R-75 south of Dow's will be getting repaired starting this week and going into next week. There is a current opening in the Eagle Grove maintenance shed for a patrol operator. Kylie Lang with Summit Carbon Solutions and other members of the Summit team met with the Board of Supervisors to give a comprehensive safety presentation. John Godfrey, Senior Principal Consultant with DNV, was on Zoom and started the PowerPoint presentation covering safety and stated that pipelines are the safest method of transportation that pipelines are the safest method of transporting any type of product. He spoke briefly about the dispersion modeling and the dispersion analysis that Summit Carbon Solutions uses. There was conversation held and the public in attendance. Then motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold, to go into closed session at 11:10 a.m. pursuant to Iowa Code Chapter 21.51J to discuss the purchase or sale of particular real estate only where premature disclosure could be reasonably expected to increase the governmental body would have to pay for that property or reduce the price that the governmental body would receive for the property. By roll call vote, ayes, Clues, Rasmussen, Helgevold, nays, none. Motion carries. Motion by Helgevold, seconded by Rasmussen to move out of closed session at 11:22 a.m. Motion carries. Motion by Clues, seconded by Helgevold to move forward with the amended Plan A as discussed in closed session. Motion carries unanimously. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to approve the 3rd reading of resolution 2023-23 declaring emergency medical services EMS as an essential service in Wright County, Iowa, and appointing a Wright County EMS System Advisory Council. By roll call vote, ayes, Clues, Rasmussen, and Helgevold, nays, none. Resolution duly passes and reads as follows. And there you can see the full resolution in its entirety, page 3 and going into page 4. The Board of Supervisors went into recess until 1 p.m. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to move into closed session at 1:02% pursuant to Iowa Code Chapter 21.5C to discuss strategy with counsel in matters that are presently in litigation or where litigation is imminent, where its disclosure would likely prejudice or disadvantage the position of the governmental body in that litigation. By roll call vote, ayes, Rasmussen, Helgevold, and Clues, nays, none. Motion carries. Motion by Helgevold, seconded by Rasmussen to move out of closed session at 2:40 p.m. Motion carries. There was no action taken concerning closed session. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.
Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, I'll stand approved as read. And then Betty, if you would read the minutes from the Wednesday, June 14th meeting.
June 14, 2023, Chairman Pro Tem Rasmussen called the special meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 8:30 a.m. Members present were Rasmussen and Helgevold, with with members present was Rasmussen, with Helgevold present via telephone and Clues absent. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. Adam Clemens, Wright County Engineer, presented fuel bids for the fiscal year 2024. There were 2 bids submitted. Motion by Rasmussen, seconded by Helgevold to accept the fuel bid with Ag Vantage FS at 7.8 cents over rack price on gasohol premium grade diesel and Arctic diesel. Motion carries. Motion by Helgevold, seconded by Rasmussen to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.
Are there any additional or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, they'll stand approved as corrected. And then, waiting for payment, should have been around. Wait, what's your, sorry. Did we get all the signatures on those, Betty?
Yes.
They're out there.
Okay, open forum for public input. Yes, thank you.
Just a reminder, my office is closed tomorrow for a district training up in Mason City.
Okay, treasurer's office will be closed tomorrow, June 20th. All day long, due to training in Mason City.
Is it on Facebook and or out on the
Yeah,
website
it's
too?
been,
Okay.
it was in the paper, I think, even. Did I see it there?
I'm not sure about the paper.
Maybe it was on Karen Wells thing.
That could be.
Okay, anyone else? Hearing none, item number 6, consider contribution to Heart of Iowa Region Trust Fund of $4,862, which is the balance of the required matching funds. Darrell Stephen, would you like to
As
present?
board
on
members that, because Homeward Inc. disbanded and was no longer offering that service to Wright County, we associated with the Heart of Iowa Regional Public Health and Trust of Fort Dodge. We were required to have a matching fund to qualify for our IPA monies. We did, the board previously submitted $5,000. We did do some fundraising for that. This is the balance of the required match.
Okay, good. And from that, in past years, I'm trying to think of the return on our investment.
That will generate approximately 20,000 plus in repairs of Wright County residents, for Wright County residents.
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to do the match of $4,862 to the Heart of Iowa Regional Trust Fund.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve, a contribution of $4,862, which extends our matching funds, and completes us with the, Heart of Iowa Regional Trust Fund. All those in favor say aye.
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 Can we have that pending the 28E agreement with them for contributions to nonprofits?
Okay.
Was that what the auditor did?
The
down at
state
line?
auditor,
State auditor
yes.
did,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm working on that.
Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
Very good. So that motion amended to include
2080.
2080 agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Review and act on certified salaries for Wright County employees for fiscal year 2023 through 2024. You would have received that in your box a couple of weeks ago. And I'm seeing, again, we had approved a 3% pay increase. Keeping in mind that the union employees would be where you'd see some differences there.
Make a motion to approve the certified salaries for FY 2024 effective July 1.
Second.
And then again, some changes on boards that are that are controlled, where we are advised by those boards. Boards,
Fiscal,
yes,
Yep.
yeah. I have a motion and a second to approve the certified salaries, effective July 1st of 2023, which is fiscal year 2024. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried.
Two signatures.
2 signatures.
Okay, item number 8, review and act on resolution 2023-20-26, a transfer of money for various funds for fiscal year 2023-24. Which again would be fiscal year 24, which we start on July 1st.
It says 23 to 26, supposed to be 24, correct, Betty?
On the agenda?
Oh, never mind, no, I apologize, I misread it. It's a
Yeah,
resolution
that's the
number, yeah.
resolution number, yeah.
Okay, so this transfers from again, for fiscal year 24. Rural basic to secondary roads, $2 million. General basic to secondary roads, $170,720. From general basic to public health basic, $50,000. And from general supplemental to public health supplemental, $250,000. Is there any questions concerning that?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2023-26.
Second,
I have a motion and a second to approve resolutions 2023-26. Resolution for interfund operating transfers. By roll call vote, Carl.
aye.
Rick.
Aye.
Dean. Aye. Motion carried.
Signatures.
3 signatures. You're waiting.
That's you my agenda. Oh, here it is. I'm right. Item number 9, review and act on resolution 2023-27 on canceling outstanding warrants. This is a resolution canceling outstanding warrants that were paid in some other way. There are 2 of them, one in the amount of $100 and one in the amount for $36.62 with supporting documentation explaining that. Is there any questions concerning those 2 warrants?
Motion to approve,
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 2023-27, a resolution to cancel outstanding warrants. By roll call vote, Carl.
aye.
Rick.
Aye.
Dean. Aye. Motion carried. Anything to sign on that one, Betty?
Yeah.
This one.
Yes.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Sandy.
Okay, item number 10, Adam Clemens, secondary road update.
Blades last week were out, prepping and leveling any of the rock mounds they had left. to get done. They tandem bladed in 2 areas. We have 2 employees, one's on military leave, and then obviously we have the opening in Indian Grove still. So we sent a few to go in there and get those areas bladed up. Mowing of granular routes, zone 1 and 3, Dow's is 100% complete. Zone 3 in Belmont is 50% done, and zone 1 is 33% done with the disc mowers. So those are getting around as soon as possible. Trucks, they started hauling the granular or gravel miles out of Lesher and Meineke. Work orders, we had 5 completed. You can see the map. There was one up northwest of Belmont that took quite a few because there was a lot of pipes and a lot of culverts in there. And then also last week, they started repairing bridge number 173, which was the closed bridge due to a heavy load going across it with the cracked pile cap. So they, I should have pictures next week when it gets reopened. I can present those. They lifted the first span off with the excavator, and we're able to lift the middle span with the excavator and put the cap back in. So we didn't have to disassemble it very much. So it worked out very well.
This will put the bridge back to the previous embargoed way.
Yes,
correct?
that's correct. I think it was 11/16/20 or 11/16/16. Don't quote me on that, but granular program, obviously we started on the gravel, 27% complete, 25 out of 126 segments. They have 126 segments they got to take care of. Construction, the shouldering is completed on C70 portion, so portion is primarily done. I think it even got white paint also. They're still working on the bridge approaches. They got half of the bridge approaches in 1 lane done. They'll switch to the other half and get those done this week. And then they'll be coming back in later on to do the miscellaneous patching on the concrete area.
That's all the same contractor?
All the same contractor. Yep. And then obviously miscellaneous, we have patrol operator still open. The crack seal on CP4 and R75 was completed. R33 north of Highway 3 was complete, started. I don't currently know where they're at. I think they'll probably get done this week with it. And then pavement markings on the southern half were done.
Okay.
Pretty busy week.
Interviews, are they scheduled or you've had no applicants?
We had 1 or 2 applicants already, so
Okay.
we haven't scheduled anything yet because we have to wait the 10 days.
Okay.
That whole big problem on Keokuk, get that fixed yet? Right on Keokuk,
I think they filled it in. We just gotta put it in a work order and get it.
was there a tile underneath that road that
So culvert.
separated or broke?
So we had an operator go out and knock it in, and then we'll go out and get a work order in on it. So,
Super,
all right,
thank you.
thank you.
Is it marked or?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, they.
yeah,
Okay, all right,
I had the farm return it in.
okay. Okay, we will be in recess, well, yeah, we'll be in recess until, well, we can do meetings. Have any meetings?
I have, second judicial district coming up Friday in Iowa Falls. It's our last meeting with them.
Okay.
The state's taking over that as well as they did workforce.
And is there any dissolving paperwork to dissolve? Is it under a 28E agreement or anything?
I believe so, but I don't know if we have anything to do. I'll find out at the meeting.
Will there be an advisory board you're on or anything like that, or is it all state taken over?
State's taking over and some of the people down there will be losing their jobs because of it. And they've been very good with running the place. It's just another. Oh, sorry,
Same thing with mental health, the states.
yeah.
Yeah.
Another bullshit.
Let's say the counties have one different.
Yeah,
Public health's running down that height,
Yeah, public health, yeah,
is running down that same height,
that would probably consolidate in that too.
very regional.
Any meetings for you, Carl?
Economic development last week, things are plugging away. Anything to add that?
We are taking steps on doing the Wright County promotional video. I understand we have 1 actor on the table.
Sounds like it.
So thank you for doing that, Dean. We will be in Clarion and Belmont tomorrow, and next week we're in Eagle. And we have a spokesperson for each of the communities that will be part of that video. Perfect.
I wasn't one of those.
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah, where they at?
I didn't have any, I did have a meeting, but I sent I asked Courtney to go to it, in my place, the Iowa Drainage District Association Board meeting was on, Tuesday. But nothing significant to report from that. We'll be in recess until 9:28.
I think so, yeah. But thanks so much for coming this week. At the end of the day, it's the Atlanta meetings.
That's right.
They're having a picnic for us.
Yeah.
This is Iowa Falls meeting.
Who is?
How are you?
What state?
Well, it ain't the state, it's Fort Dodge, the Western City.
Yeah. It's within the guidelines. They're cool. It's not on every farm or farmhouse.
No, this is in Western City.
Places that she'll be named. She-
And the organization basically gets people out of prison and gets them involved back in
I was
society.
wondering if there's like a.
And they take care of the Humvee, the breathalyzers, vehicles.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, no.
Okay, I've got
Yeah,
9:30.
that's what they're doing.
We'll be back in session. Item number 11, here an update on ICAP and I
IMWCA,
know, I'm trying to think of what that's.
Iowa Municipality Workman's Comp.
ICAP and IMWCA insurance renewal for 2023-2024 fiscal year.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Our agents committee met on June 7th to review the ICAP and the IMWCA renewals. All committee members were present that day and were pleased with both renewals. The committee and my office would again like to thank Betty and her staff. There is a lot of work that goes into the renewal process and her and their staff handled that beautifully. I've attached the premium sheet, it's third page in your packet there. Discussing the rate structure from the expiring year going into the renewal. The general liability section, it's a little bit inflated on that as ICAP is now billing the cyber liability through the general liability section. So at the bottom of the page, you'll see there is no premium for cyber this year. The property side continues to have pressure from storms and also from reinsurance expense. So that really is the main portion of the rate increase this year. The county has, on the expiring policy, 34.4 million property coverage. The renewals at 37.4. Jumping around a little bit, the committee is concerned again about the valuation of the courthouse. We have 13.4 million dedicated to this building. We tried last year to get a competing number if we were to have a loss here to rebuild it. We cannot find a blueprint for it, so we're kind of stuck.
The last two courthouses they had to build, any idea what those things came out in costs?
So our committee talked about that and the Marshalltown number is a little bit all over the map. ICAP hasn't released that to us, but in the neighborhood, I believe of 20 to 22.
And so
Would that be the building and belongings inside or just?
That was just building.
Just building.
Yeah,
Partial loss.
yeah.
So, with the lack of the drawings that are required, how do we get somebody from your industry to recognize that we need to increase that?
So really, we can increase it to whatever figure you are comfortable with. Our committee is not comfortable recommending that number without a contractor putting that number together. So we can have loss control come in, walk around, take measurements and try and put an insurance number to it, but that's still kind of throwing a dart at the board versus having an accurate number on what it would cost to put it back.
When I insure my buildings, I'm required to be within a certain percentage rate of their actual value or something, and if I'm way off, then I don't think the whole thing's thrown out, but I know it, I'm not insured. If I tell them that I've got $20 million worth of buildings there and I only have $10 million worth of buildings there, I don't get an extra $10 million if I'm wiped completely off the map.
Exactly.
Does that hold true in this instance also?
It does.
Or if you're
Yeah,
underinsured on it, I mean, if you have a $20 million building and only insure it for 10 million,
Right.
you'll have.
Right,
Or in our example, 13.4.
right.
You know, the committee really feels that the supervisor should pick a contractor and go through the expense of having this building looked at from a replacement cost standpoint, not from an appraisal standpoint. You know, we don't want depreciation taken into effect.
Right. Does Vanguard do any of that type of stuff?
I could ask them, but we don't do like replacement cost.
Right, you do
I mean,
more
we're
actual.
closer to the actual value of the building now versus if it was new.
At least if we did that now, we'd have it for forever.
Exactly. And I know,
Humboldt has an appraiser.
Does that require you to get drawings, I mean, blueprints? Is that what you're saying that we need as an engineer to come in here and?
yeah, so I went to one of our larger contractors that we work with, Dean Snyder Construction, in
Yeah.
Clear Lake,
Yeah.
and talked to Dale Snyder about putting that together for the county. And he was willing to do it without cost to the county if we could provide the blueprints.
Okay.
He could have come up with a number that way, but we've tried a few times and a couple different avenues and we
So,
can't locate.
We went through and scanned all of the maps and documents and everything, and so let me look.
Okay.
Because, and now that everything's labeled and in totes in my office, you know how when we reorganized. So let's see what there is in there now.
When I first started in this job and got a tour of the courthouse, there was a box of documents that it seemed to me like maybe might have been some drawings or something up in the
Third floor there.
where nobody ever goes.
Oh, the bell tower.
Yeah, so,
It's
Yeah,
worth a look see for that.
okay,
if we can get those, I can go back to Dale again
okay,
and have him create the number for you.
okay.
Any idea what it would be if we didn't have the blueprints?
The cost of that, he didn't tell me. I can ask him.
If you could reach, I mean, it'd be nice to have that number.
Sure.
Yeah.
We should definitely do something to make sure that we're,
Because we could have some exposure, because 13 million won't rebuild the place.
No. Not with the look that we have now.
No, we'll have a steel structure.
And that's what the committee was trying to avoid, is having that happen.
okay,
Okay,
so we've got some work to do on our
Yeah.
side.
workers' compensation continues to be a really positive focus or spotlight for the county. Your IMWCA renewal is $53,434. To put that into perspective with the safety committee and what they continue to do, and then all the department heads really focusing on safety. Prior to your experience mod, which is 0.69, your core premium would have been $169,008 versus the 53 that you're paying. Yeah, with IMWCA, after the mod, because our work count mod is so low, the credit that they provide takes that premium from $116,612 down to the 53,400. So really strong point there. Another thing that we wanted to point out is last year, we had a discussion about changing our certificate requirements for farmers doing easement work on their own land. That's gone really well. I think Adam would agree with that.
Yep.
It's cleaned up some of the complaints and is working pretty good. Last year, you three asked that we provide loss history to you, so that's also included in your packet. You'll see bylines there through auto, property loss, general liability, and workers' compensation. With ICAP, the only movement on the claim side from last year to this year, the previous year we had 5 auto losses, and this year we had 17. Quite a few of those though were lag, pheasant and deer hits. So yeah, nothing we can do about it, nothing you can do about it. Outside of that, the renewal is pretty straightforward this year, with not any coverage change in it. So our committee is requesting approval to accept the ICAP and IMWCA renewals.
And you get a ballpark number on the cost of,
Yes.
if we did that, okay?
Yep. Would you prefer I email that to you guys or come to the next meeting? Just give it that.
Give it, email it to Betty, then we need to make a decision on what we need to do, because I think we have exposure there.
Well, this was just to hear an update. We'll put it on the agenda for approval to accept the ICAP and IMWCA insurance. Is that, do I understand that correctly? We can't take action today on
It just, just to hear an update, we have our invoice here that we'll be paying,
it? Okay,
and that will get done before July 1.
okay.
So this will be on
Does that take board action?
the invoice, the
Yeah,
claim,
approving that.
when
We do claims.
when we do
Okay.
claims.
All right.
you'll pay
Very
it.
good.
So you can just accept the report and
Okay. I would make a motion to accept the report of the Wright County Insurance Committee on the ICAP and IMWCA renewals for Wright County.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to accept the Wright County Insurance Agents Committee recommendations on ICAP and IMWCA renewals for Wright County. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
When you talk to him, if you think it's best for you to come back, feel free, if you want to come
Okay.
back, or you can, however you think is the best to present it to us. If it's
Sounds
easy
good.
email, or if you want to come in.
Okay. I'll talk to him today.
Okay, so
Thanks y'all for your work on this. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
really have a moment where I can run upstairs, the
Yes, ma'am.
break, and I will.
Hey, talk to you, Scott.
I'm gonna let the sheriff know that we'll be going to closed session. I think you're just gonna come in.
Okay. For the weekend. Yes, sir.
He's not listening. I didn't put it on. You did. Yeah, there's also be your,
What's that?
Allison has, yeah.
Yep.
On.
That's awesome. In space. There are 501c3.
Yeah, and I said, like, why am I?
See?
Maybe doing. So. I gotta move.
Yeah. You're gonna start star 6, 7, and then.
There's space for you. There's space for you.
Yeah.
And then I could look to make sure I bring, at least it's sizable
And then
enough.
it takes a few days.
We should get ahead of the straw.
The only problem is if they
Is there
move in now.
security, is there security issues with that?
I don't. So.
Yeah, you're kind of. Yeah.
But they use their own printer, they use that, so I said, I don't want you to use our printer because your stuff's gonna be in the other stuff. I don't wanna take that. They have their own
Exactly.
internet and printer.
But I mean, security issues also in the clientele that they're dealing with may have someone.
Yes and no.
Speaking of, is there security issues in that one? Which are building the secure anyway. I mean, it has.
Yeah, and I don't see.
Yeah.
My only thing is if we have to move you out of your building
Yeah.
for renovation and they move over here, we're gonna have space to go.
And I
So then they're
told-
gonna be empty, they're gonna be without a spot again. They're moving 1, 2, 3 times.
Well, I told her she's probably the only one that's essential.
Yeah.
But I also, she said that we indicated. Stay up over there, which you're gonna want rent over there.
Right.
And we're gonna move in over there potentially, but otherwise, I don't have a problem with them being there. Matter of fact, just the other day, I had a.
I think they go over there Well, if there's room for them as they transition over there to go back there, I'm not concerned with the rent aspect. I just don't want them permanently over there because they have to pay someone.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and they have to understand that, yeah.
Email me.
And like, it's just the other day, I had someone come in, social security wise, had come in, needed help. Domestic concerns, obviously. Or talking to somebody else. But it was like, it was nice to have somebody that helped. We're gonna help us with this aspect. Yeah.
What's that?
Yes.
We are not. We're waiting on, there's Rick returning from a phone call.
I'll let her know.
Jason will be coming for the meeting.
Okay.
We don't.
So visit.
Who will? Jason Hill.
Sheriff.
For
what meeting?
Check and check.
item number 12. Item number 12.
Right. And it's,
So do we need to go into recess for 15 minutes? We will be in recess for, until 10 o'clock.
I thought we were in recess.
No, we're not in
Thanks for telling me.
recess.
She just ran upstairs.
Okay, I'm showing 10:06. We are back in session
10:06.
at 10:06, that's correct. Item number 12, consider going into closed session pursuant to chapter 21.5 C of the Iowa Code to discuss strategy with counsel in matters that are presently in litigation or where litigation is imminent, where its disclosure would likely prejudice or disadvantage the position of the governmental body in that litigation.
Make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
I have a motion and second to go into closed session, per Iowa Code, chapter 21.5 Charlie of the Iowa Code, by roll call vote. Carl. Aye. Rick.
Aye.
Dean. Aye. Motion carried. Time is 10:59. Is there any other, there was no action taken in closed session, it was informational only. Is there any other business? Motion
I have
carried.
nothing. Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned.
Sorry, I was.